Hey, so this series I started the other day with the notion of identifying your inner voice, that voice of intuition. It is always neutral and it is helpful. It's not going to tell you to do something that is morally or ethically problematic. It is also not complicated. It will make simple declarative statements, or it will involve a feeling, a knowing, a sense that will be simple and direct and rooted in goodness. That's what we want. Then I talked about the inner senses yesterday, the idea that you can have any of the outer senses that you use with the external world, you can have as an inner sense. Now, today, I want to talk about how we learn to focus, and this may sound really overly simple, but we may learn to focus on the external world and then learn to focus on our inner world, our inner experience. So, this can start with you just being aware of your feelings, whatever your feeling state is. As you learn to shift your focus between your inner world and your outer world, one of the things that's going to happen is that you are going to learn self-referral rather than object referral. Object referral is if we look at the time, in my time zone, it's 12:01, and we decide to eat lunch because it is the right time to eat lunch. Self-referral is we eat lunch because we're hungry at whatever time that might be. So you may have a sense that something is wrong, for instance, and that can be not verified externally, but you might feel it. You're going to, as you pay attention to the feeling that something might be wrong, you're going to be, again, doing self-referral. You're going to be focusing on your inner world and noticing what that means for you on that particular occasion and that particular moment. As we do this, we are literally shifting and altering our state of consciousness. So the state of consciousness that you use to track things that are happening in the external world is perhaps obviously different from the state of consciousness you use to track what is in your inner world. Then there are, of course, different varieties of the states of consciousness that belong to the outer world and those that belong to the inner world. For instance, the state of consciousness that you might be in to watch a movie might be different from the state of consciousness you might be in to watch your favorite sports team, which may in turn be different from the state of consciousness that you use if you have a really serious conversation or a light and fun conversation. These kinds of shifts from one state of consciousness to another then can extend to the inner world and the states of consciousness we can visit from moment to moment as we sense in our inner world. So another way to think of this is that we tune our consciousness to tune ourselves outward for what is going on, and we can tune our consciousness to notice what is going on in our inner world. These shifts will become more and more discernible to you. And if you're around other people, their shifts of consciousness will eventually become more discernible to you. We can tell if someone is actually giving us their attention, they're actually present with us. So when I was working in a corporate situation, my joke was that somebody would call themselves present if they weren't looking at their phone when they were talking with you. Of course, being truly present is much more than that. And we can learn to feel presence. So one time I was in, I can't remember if it was Taos, New Mexico or Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I went into an old Spanish church, and the presence that I felt in there was riveting. It was very, very powerful, very intense. I remember the feeling when I was a child of going into the St. Louis Cathedral and the feeling of presence in there. You might feel presence in an art museum, and that will feel different from walking into a sports arena, for instance. So we're starting to develop the different flavors of focus or consciousness or awareness, and we're going to be able to tell when we are present or when someone else is or is not present. The opposite of presence is absence. Some people, and luckily it's rare, but some people will feel truly absent to you. And that is dangerous when they are absent, because various things can fill the void that they have allowed to exist in their bodies, in their minds, in their awareness. There's an emptiness that you will be able to notice with some people, perhaps even a deadness, unfortunately. So you are tuning yourself to understand and track your own shifts in consciousness, the shifts in consciousness of those around you, and the shifts in consciousness of the world around you. You will be able to feel when maybe trouble is coming, or when good things are coming, when there is going to be a shift for the better. So practicing your awareness, learning to focus it inside to pick up whatever is going on for you, outside to pick up what is going on in the outside world. This is good training for us. A long time ago, a friend of mine had a plant, a Schefflera, and an elderly Labrador Retriever. And I would walk into the house, and they both would bombard me with their need for water. The Schefflera needed to be watered, and the elderly Labrador Retriever, I think his kidneys were going, and so he was drinking more and more water, and he would empty his water bowl, and his owner didn't notice. But he would know to beam it to me and let me know, because he knew I would water him, just like I watered the plant. One of the things I'm shocked by sometimes is when someone does not take care of their animals or their plants, and they're not responding to the animal or plant giving out the signal that they need to be taken care of. It's always like, wait, you missed that? So beginning to tune into your world in different ways. This is power, and it is the power of your intuition, the power of your awareness. So thank you for joining me, and enjoy this day of awareness.